That's fine. Hi, how you doing?
Hi.
'Twas the night before Halloween.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready?
I don't have a choice. I need to be ready.
I guess saying that should give people an idea we're recording on Monday, our normal day that we schedule, instead of Tuesday.
Unless you're not from the U.S. and don't celebrate Halloween.
That too. I might have asked you this, but should we just change the scheduling day to Tuesday since that's when we usually do it?
Maybe. Could be.
It seems to work out. I mean, at least we have a solid release day every Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, the main reason we switched to because we originally started recording on Tuesdays, but we switched to Monday so that you had extra time and not have to rush.
Not have to rush the editing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now look at me. I do it anyway. Still works out.
This is true.
So I guess Mondays are tentative and Tuesdays are for sure.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So I cut you off before you even got to answer. Are you ready for Halloween?
I don't have a choice.
Fair. The life of a father, parent, person.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Amelia has changed her costume 3 times.
Oh, Jesus. What's she going to do?
She was a skeleton, and then earlier today, she was like, I want to be my Raya costume. I was like, okay, fine, we'll do that. And then just before bed, she came out and came downstairs and was like, can you set out my Elsa costume for Halloween tomorrow? I was like, all right, we can do that.
On the bright side, at least it's all costumes you own.
Yeah, true. Because I was like, can we do that? You need to go find it for me. It's like, nope, you're shit out of luck now. It's too late.
Yeah, basically. As soon as we got the spare Halloween, it's a good thing Sawyer was very adamant about being Mario. Because as soon as we got there, we were like, shit, they're running low. They're already running low. One set of costumes, they didn't have his size, the actual costume. And then next to it...
I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Because the movie came out this year, so of course it was going to be a big deal.
Uh-huh. And then next to it just happened to be, the onesie.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that.
Nice.
And I thought, and ironically enough, it's good material. It's sweatpants material.
Nice. It's not just felt.
Yeah, I was thinking it was those cheap onesies you get from Walmart. But nope. It's legit. We've already said after Halloween, he can wear it regularly if he wants to.
Nice.
So.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you haven't taught him to grow a mustache yet?
Nope.
Okay.
He's not allowed to have mushrooms yet.
Mushrooms? I said mustache.
Where do you think the mustache comes from?
I don't know if you know how anatomy works.
That's a bad joke.
It made me laugh.
Love you too.
Oh, is she going to bed?
No, she's saying she's shaking her head at my bad jokes.
Oh, that's okay. She doesn't have very good ones either, but that's why me and her get along.
No, it was funny because Sawyer's making her dress as Princess Peach. I can get away. I can get away with. He wanted me to dress up as Bowser, but I can get away with it because nobody has costumes of Bowser in my size. And when I tried to look for a mask, there was no way in hell it was going to come in by Halloween.
So what are you going to do?
I'm just gonna wear a green T-shirt, and I have a flannel jacket that's the same color scheme as his turtle shell, and just wear khaki shorts.
Okay.
Want to know what his reasoning is for me, for him wanting me to Bowser? Because I'm beefy.
Okay. I didn't even get to guess. Not because you scare him, or because you're as tall as him, or mean? I don't know.
Yes, I'm an asshole.
But you come by it honestly.
Huh?
I said, but you come by it honestly.
Yes, I do.
So how'd that make you feel? Let's start a therapy session. How'd you feel after he said that?
I don't know. at least it didn't say I was fat. I'm like, he's like, you're beefy. I'm like,
at least he's nice about his words.
Yeah, at least he's being politically correct.
Yeah. I mean, you could always get like green hair dye spray stuff and like dye your hair green to go with it. Well, I guess
I thought Bowser's hair is
orange.
Yeah, orange.
It's like orange red, but I'm just thinking of like the shell and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not spraying my hair.
Okay.
Because with my luck, that shit will still be in my hair the next morning. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, I didn't tell you before we get on to talking about the news because I wrote down a lot more than I meant to, but that's okay. If she follows through with it, Amelia herself has picked out her new hairstyle for when she gets a cut.
Okay.
Care to guess how she wants it to look?
The peach style.
Nope.
Daisy.
I think it's going to look cooler.
Okay.
She wants to pull the hair from one side over and then shave that side.
Oh, so she's going Spider-Gwen.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know where that came from, but that's what she chose. I'm like, okay, cool.
Right on, Dad.
Yeah.
How did Meg feel about that?
She was all for it, too.
Oh, shit.
She doesn't care. If that's what she wants, that's how she wants her hair, fine.
Right on.
She's her own person.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Listen, I know many parents that wouldn't let their kids go that far, so...
If it's how she wants her hair to look and she's okay with it and happy with it, why not?
Yeah.
Her body, her choice, man.
I agree.
All right. Ready to get the show on the road?
Yeah.
Or as I think my mom and other people in my family would say, get the road on the show.
Nope.
They're funny. Yeah. No. What? No. Okay. Well, we'll be back Thursday then. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm good. How was your week?
Okay. What do you mean? We just started. It's Monday.
That's the intro.
I haven't even introduced the episode.
Okay, fine.
Can you remember what number we're on?
Fuck. 48.
Yes.
Yeah!
Good boy.
I pulled that out of my ass.
Yeah, Ramblepack. Hang on. I'll just say that. You know who we are. We're on episode 48. Oh, since it's Halloween, I'm Spooky Adam.
I'm Sugar High Mike.
Okay. I guess that's fair. Although I've been eating a lot of peanut M&Ms lately.
Oh, Jesus. Apparently.
Good stuff.
Don't say that to Sawyer, because he refused to eat his today. I was surprised. I'm like, I thought you liked those. It's like, nah, they're too sour for me. Because he apparently says, that's what he says for everything that he's not caring for at the moment. He says they're sour.
All right. Well, what Amelia doesn't know is that all of her Reese's Cups are going to go missing tomorrow. It's either that or Kit Kat.
Oh, Jesus.
We'll see what she gets more of.
It's Twix over here.
Oh, Twix are good, too. Especially the ones that had the peanut butter in them for a short time. Oh, those were so good.
I've never had those.
Man, if you haven't tried them yet, try to get different flavors of Kit Kats. They're so good. There's so many good flavors. The mint ones, the mocha ones. There's like, I think an apple one, a peach one, banana. Oh, they're all so good.
I think the only one I've ever tried was strawberry, and that was That was during Valentine's.
That's not bad. They have a matcha green tea one that's pretty good too.
Yeah.
Okay then. More for me then. Jeez.
Not a fan of matcha.
Fair enough. Okay, I don't know how to get from food to games, so I don't know where to go.
Well, we're on the topic of things that make us sick. Can talk
okay,
about.
there's a lot.
Well, I was gonna say it's the Sony's
price
excuse.
Hike?
Yeah, the excuse that they gave for the price hike.
Okay, I got another price-related thing that we could talk about right after, too, because I know it's going to make you mad.
Oh, Jesus.
I can't wait for your reaction. Anyway, hit me with that.
All right. So, apparently, Sony decided they're going to decided to defend why they had the price hikes, and I could sort of get it, but at the same time, do you really need to justify it? It's the prices went up. Senior Vice President Eric Lampel, basically said, like practically everything else in the world, we have to look at our pricing and we have to adjust marketing conditions.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. We want to make PlayStation Plus great. With our reboot last year and introducing the tier system, a lot of consumers have recognized there's a lot of value in PlayStation 5. And then he further stated that Sony had not previously raised prices for 85% of the world in many years, which is a contrast from other subscription services that regularly raise prices. That I did not know, and at the same time, that's kind of a slap in the face. Where he's basically...
Is this about like when they changed the pricing of the tiered structure by like $40 for the most expensive one?
I'm assuming so. Well, what's making no sense to me is... It goes to show how much I pay attention to it. Is the statement where he said they didn't raise prices for like 85% of the world in many years. So the ones that they did raise the prices for is basically you're making them flip the buck while everybody else is going scot free. Are you fucking serious?
Well, also, what about them raising the prices of PS5s around the world? Most places got it, and other places didn't. Is that supposed to offset it too?
I don't know.
Like, I understand the business point that he's making and wanting to capitalize on things and shit, but like, it's a little backwards.
I agree on with both points. To be honest, I think the subscription price wasn't bad before. I don't even remember what the hell I'm renewing at because I ended up doing the top tier. But like
yeah, you're ready to pay $150 for a year.
That's not bad. That's less than $15 a month.
Still a lot though. I know we broke it down before and talked about it, but it's just steep when you put it like that.
It's a steep price all at once, but at the same time, like for like the example that was used in the article was like, if you look outside of like the video game industry, look at Disney Plus, look at Apple Plus, all these subscription services. Their prices have
they've been raising their prices.
Yeah.
I mean, Netflix just raised their prices again for their premium stuff.
Oh, Jesus. I don't want to look at that. Last I knew I was paying
like over $20.
Yeah. Okay. Because I think I'm paying $21.99 a month, something like that.
Yep.
And people aren't batting an eye over that. Well, they're probably complaining, but they're not canceling their subscriptions over it. I'm not gonna bitch about that. You're giving. It's still to the same factor where we're talking about $150 a year to have internet access to the online access to your games. You have access to the game's catalog. There's value there.
Isn't it tiered out for that too?
The game catalog is tiered out, but we're talking about the top tier. If the top tier is $150, you're paying under $15 a month to have online gameplay and access to all the games that are available on their gaming catalog. Unless you've played through all the games in that catalog recently and they're not adding new stuff fast enough for you, then I can see the bitching. But I'm pretty sure that's few and far between at this point. I think I'm more... What I was actually very surprised about their answers is when he was asked for his thoughts on Xbox Game Pass and day one releases on it. You know his answer is very PC because he tried to avoid it. Basically said it comes down to what you're getting in the service in terms of the games and the quality of games. can't comment on what the competition is doing, but with us, we feel we're offering a great curated catalog of games, as well as other features and services with PlayStation Plus. It's a very different offering, but it's one that resonated with consumers. Since we introduced the tiers, we've seen a third of the Plus users base opt for the upper two tiers, which was more than we had expected. So, I like that answer. It's very PC, as compared to the previous CEO, which they also mentioned, where Jim Ryan's...
Did Callie just burp behind you?
I didn't hear it.
I thought I heard something.
His take on it is definitely different than Jim Ryan's, which we all know wasn't the best compared to that. But
yeah,
no, I like it. He's right. It's not why focus on that shit. And I get why they don't do it. For the same reason why people don't like the idea that day one releases can affect individual sales. It's just different business plans.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you've had I want to say Phil Spencer or somebody from Xbox has come out and said that there's been plenty of conversions to full buy from Game Pass for people who have tried these games as well. It's not that it's a failure or it's hampering sales. It's actually been helping out a lot.
All right. The way I see it is it's a matter of how you look at it and what you prefer, to be honest. If you're going to buy the game, you're going to buy the game.
And really how you value things too.
Right.
Because like even with Game Pass, there's the basic thing where you have Xbox Live Gold. Well, the new thing where it's basically Xbox Live Gold, but it's also your introduction to Game Pass, and there's games all on there that you have access to, and you're good to go. You don't have to get like into the the extra stuff that gives you access to PC Game Pass and Xbox Xbox Game Pass Ultimate or whatever, which has like everything.
Yeah.
You could just get the base thing and be all set. Not to mention they're going to keep adding games to the library. It's really a matter of what you value.
Pretty much. And ironically enough, I think if you asked me this question a year ago, I probably would be dead set against the pass system.
Mm-hmm.
Saying as I was very adamant about physical copies of games and shit like that. So very surprised as how open I am to these type of conversations.
I feel like that's part of being browbeaten for years over subscription services. Since everything is becoming a subscription now, you don't really have a choice.
Yeah, pretty much. Ooh.
That stresses me out. Just everything is subscriptions and you don't own it. As we've talked about a lot with games too, you pay to have access to the game and you download it, and it can be taken away at any time. And you need internet to be able to access it in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not the same. It shouldn't work like this.
It shouldn't. When you see shit like that where... Like, even outside of video games. Look at the Adobe products, for example. Or
that right there. I couldn't believe what they did when they changed over everything to be a subscription to their stuff. It's like, no, I just want Photoshop. No, you need to have everything. It's fine.
And you don't own it. Like, you can't just buy it.
Nope.
Anymore.
Yeah, there's no program anymore.
And there's no. At last I remember, they don't even support it anymore. Like, if you buy an older version, there are going to be no updates to it whatsoever.
It's crazy. Times have we're so old. I was going to say times have changed.
Uh-huh.
It's just crazy how things are now.
I don't even want to look at those prices, because I remember getting the student version at a discount, and even then that was it's pretty penny.
How about where you buy into something and then you get to pay more because you want something from it?
Oh fuck.
So you know how Mortal Kombat 1 came out. Do you remember how much it cost to get the game?
It wasn't pretty.
It was one of two options. It's either 60 or 70.
I know it was 70, and I know the collector's
Yeah.
edition. It wasn't pretty either.
It was $110 for that.
Where are you going with this conversation?
So now they've introduced a universal fatality for Halloween that anybody can use
Okay.
for purchase for $10.
Huh?
You can't earn it through like any of the events in the game or like running through their boards and shit. No, they let you buy it for $10. Well, $10, but like that's converted from their in-game currency called Dragon Crystals.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's it.
Why?
I mean, it was shown off before, and like fans of the game and stuff were like, "The hell is this? This is not the right way to do the game." And then like there was an update recently that put it out and was like, the Halloween fatalities in the premium shop, and people are boycotting the game and like, don't buy this, don't support this shit. This is not how the game's supposed to be.
I agree. Why?
I do too.
Why are you gonna pay a seventh of the freaking price tag for the game for one fucking move?
Gone are the days of like $2 costumes and stuff. Now everything's like, remember Street Fighter 6 with the turtles stuff? It was like $15 or $20 per costume or something like that.
Oh, jeez.
Per character. Not just for all of them.
Kiss my ass.
So this is like on that level.
Yeah, go.
And you know that if this is a thing, there's probably going to be more later on down the road.
Oh, without a doubt.
And I mean, you're also, when they put out the DLC characters, if you're not buying like the pass to get them all, you'll be paying for them individually as well. Characters I get, because that's been a thing in a lot of games, or like fighting games too, for a while, where the game will come out and then they'll make new characters, and to support the creation of these characters, you're paying a premium or whatever for them. I totally get that, because it continues support for the game and adding more things to it. But when you're doing things like this, it just doesn't feel right.
No, because it's a freaking costume, or a freaking a mechanic that was made.
Here, let me put it even simpler terms for you. Someone I think it was a video or an article I read about it, where somebody said you're basically paying $10 for a cutscene. You're not doing anything to do the fatality. You input the buttons and then you see what happens.
Right.
It's basically $10 for a cutscene.
I would much rather pay for finishers on Destiny. At least they're cheaper.
You know what? That's fair, but even then, I would not. If it's Bright Dust, sure, because you can earn that in game.
Oh, that's what.
But silver, no, thank you. Okay. So then you're not really buying anything. You're just working in the system. See, I knew it was going to make you mad.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm trying to stay calm. That's fucked up. I'm sorry.
I agree. Well, okay, so speaking of fucked up too, I'm back and forth on this. Do you want to talk about Dreamlight?
Yes. I thought it was gonna be a good conversation. What's bad?
As I've sat on the news for a little while, I'm back and forth as to like if it's a good thing or a bad thing or whatever, because I've read a lot of different things about how the community is kind of torn between if it's good or bad. They feel lied to. If they were going to do this, it should have been mentioned a long time ago, not dropped before, a month and a half before they're going live for like the full version, whatever.
Oh, I know what you're
this
talking.
Game this whole time under the assumption that it's still going to be the same.
Yeah. Okay. I know exactly what you're talking about. What Adam is mentioning is in December 5th exactly. Dreamlight Valley will finally go live. It's leaving early access. And they announced that it is no longer going to be a free-to-play game. You're actually going to have to buy the digital copy. So anybody who was waiting it out for it to release as free-to-play, is going to have to pay anyways.
And a lot of these people who have read this have said, nah, I'm not going to buy into it. I was waiting for it to come out and be free to play, and now that they've hit me with this, I'm not going to bother.
I could see why.
Which, I mean, at least they have that commitment still.
Right. I could see why they, knowing what they've put into the game, and the amount of work that they put into the game, the amount of feedback that they get from the community, a lot of back and forth that most games don't do. I get why they make the decision, and I can and to be playing devil's advocate, I'm assuming them waiting so long to say something is it probably racked their brains too to try and avoid it.
Maybe, but I'm also wondering how much influence Disney themselves had, because remember, back in the day, Disney had their own video games division kind of thing and would make games under like the Disney license or whatever.
Right.
The problem with those is that they would shut down companies and stuff after making these games if they didn't hit a certain threshold, even if they were profitable and doing great.
Right.
If they were not making enough for whatever they considered to be good enough, they would shut them down. So I'm wondering if Disney is like, yeah, you're doing well, but not well enough, so find another way to make more.
Right.
And that might not even be the case. Maybe they're hands off on it, and it's just like, sure, use the IP or whatever. Just we'll do our checks and balances to make sure you're using them in the right way.
Right.
Don't know.
And we'll never know unless somebody says something. We'll never actually know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they're not where they were. I'm assuming they were hoping to rely on people paying for expansions and moonstones and stuff like that. People not, especially with the amount of moonstones that they give out on a daily basis, and for the dream snaps, like I want to say like the top 10% or something like that gets like 4,000 moonstones each. So
I can almost guarantee you there's somebody that's sitting on top of like the game economy and doing like these calculations to know if it's okay to do this stuff. Because if you're offsetting the cost for your premium shop by handing out millions of moonstones to where anybody can just buy stuff, you're shooting yourself in the foot on making money on that. Right. So they have to know that it's okay to pass out that much stuff and still be making money hand over fist.
Right. I'm just thinking that they might not be or either the expenses were more than they were expecting when they were doing the initial checks and balances and stuff like that to make that decision, or people because of how often those moonstones come out or make readily available, people are able to buy stuff from the premium shop that they would normally have to pay money for. Like, for example,
so that also sounds like they're passing the cost on to the new players.
Could very well be.
And I get this feeling like since that news came out, I'm going to assume at least a third, if not a half, of those people who are waiting it out are not going to convert to buying the game. They're going to stick with their guns and not bother. Now, even if they do get an influx of people that buy it, what do you do then? Because that money only goes so far. You know, how is a handful more purchases over the course of maybe 6 months going to pay for stuff down the road? I mean, that's what free-to-play games usually do, is they use their premium shops to support the game and be able to make stuff later on, which is what it seemed like they were doing already.
Right.
Now, a free-to-play game, like similar to the Destiny route, it's now free-to-play, but you buy into their expansions and stuff. Unfortunately, they have such a fractured system. It's ridiculous, since you have to buy into certain things to be able to get like access to dungeons and exotic weapons and like the quest lines and shit like that.
Right.
But the point is, it's free to play. You buy into the expansions and you get all the stuff along with it, which I can see them doing after launch, which would be perfectly fine if it stayed free to play. Right. But since now they're like, you have to buy into it and give us money for the expansions and the premium shop, it just seems like it's a bit much.
I don't know, honestly, because I'm looking at it from the get-go. Like, if we're gonna use the apples to apples as far as like the Destiny to Dreamlight comparison, I was one of the people that bought Destiny 2 off a disc before it was a free to play.
Yeah.
I was willing to do that. That's not a problem. And I knew from D1 that we would have to pay for each expansion.
But what's funny is a lot of people were okay with that too, the conversion to free to play, even though they bought the game. Yeah. They weren't mad about it going free to play. They were like, "Oh, this is going to open up so many things and more people to play the game and stuff."
Right. I'm at least the way it's sounding like they're handling it better than Destiny's going to, because there's already the original story already is from oh my god.
It's complete, right? Would you say that it's all done now?
Up until the ending of the story. I don't want to say too much just because of other people who are still.
No, we don't have to spoil it.
Yeah.
But I feel like that the main storyline or quest line or whatever is done and wrapped up.
Right, exactly. And I think there's enough meat there to justify charging the game. As far as what they're going to charge for it, I have no idea. It's probably going to be the same price that they're charging for the physical copy of the Cozy Edition.
Was it like $30 or $40?
Actually, let's look it up right now.
I thought it was 30.
I want to say the physical copy might be 50, but I'm going to be wrong.
Oh God, it's even worse than I thought.
Dreamlight Valley Cozy. Excuse me. $49.99. So yeah, $50.
Jesus.
But even then, that's not bad if you can think about what you're considering. It's an actual game.
In comparison, though, I mean, to buy into the early access stuff, the base price was $30, and then you can buy like $50 and $70, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
For like the different tiered.
For the different tiers.
Yeah. So now your only option is a $50 buy-in.
Well, that's why they're also given the options that hey, you can buy into the founders packs up until.
Oh, they want you to buy in early.
Yeah, basically. And even then, you could buy the physical Cozy Edition, and you're good until they release the fully live version online.
Mm-hmm.
But you could still get the founders packs on that, which I think is even discounted now, aren't they?
I haven't checked. I don't
know. They could still be discounted at this point. Buy one of those. You get a whole bunch of moonstones. Still getting the founders perks. For me personally, I think there's enough there to justify the price. And if they and where the expansion itself, the expansion pass, if it's just as much meat that's going to be in there throughout the next year, I'm okay with that too. How is that any different? My thing is, how is that any different than? And I'm talking out of my ass because I have no idea how it's like. How's that any different than buying the expansions for Minecraft or any other games that are like that? I think $30 is a reasonable price for the expansion, and I think $50 is a reasonable price for the game itself. I get the outrage and people were expecting it, but at the same time, the company needs to do what they need to do. It does, to me anyways, the way I'm seeing it, it doesn't feel like a cash grab like other games are doing. It seems to be like, hey, there's a reason why they have to take this stance.
It'd be nice if they were able to share what that reasoning was, because it feels weird to switch. I guess because I can't really recall a game that's done it backwards like this, or what I consider backwards, because it's usually, let's start off as a free or a paid game, and then go free to play. Or it starts off as free to play, not going from free to play to a paid service. I shouldn't say paid service, I mean buy-in.
But that's the thing. It didn't start off as free to play. It was never launched as free to play. It was on the premise that yes, it was going to.
That right there, it was on the premise that it was when it released. You got early access to the game because you bought into it. I would say that that's not the same as being a free to play game because it wasn't released yet. You just got to play the beta by buying into being able to do so.
Right.
Or in our case, being part of Game Pass.
Right.
Which is still, it has its own buy-in, but it's different. You're not buying into the game directly. You're just on a service.
It's just, yeah, that's exactly it. It's not live yet, so they could make that. They could change that logistically at any point. If it was live,
right, but that was a way for them. That was a way for them to drum up some money and stuff. I mean, people who bought into it for the access early on in the game were buying moonstones and stuff too, besides being gifted them.
Yes, but you were buying. You were when when the people that were spending physical money for this game, for the early access, for the moonstones, all that stuff, you knew what you were buying. There was no hiding what you were buying.
Right, but this was all on the premise that it was going to be a free-to-play game.
Why would it matter? Because we paid for the game. Like, you pay for game... In your particular case, you pay for Game Pass, and you have access because it was there. We paid for the Founders Pack to have the early access. How is that...
Well, I guess it doesn't matter to those people who bought into it because they still have access to the game.
I think this is one of those situations where it sucks. Yes, I understand the people being pissed about it. But I also think it's a too bad so sad type of situation. You didn't you felt the game wasn't worth not paying the money at that point to get the early access. Fine, don't pay it. But now that
right, but then they're still left out in the cold because now they're changing it over, and it's like, well, I wasn't going to buy into it then. I'm not going to buy into it now because you changed your mind at the last minute. They're losing out on those sales because they kind of broke some consumers' trust.
I think I can be okay with that in this particular scenario.
Fuck you, I got mine.
Oh no, it's not that. My thing is I paid, I enjoyed it. You make your decision. You don't want to pay for the game, that's fine. Don't pay for the game. But at the same time, you can't expect them to, hey, if they're saying we can't keep the game running without charging you.
But they didn't say that. That's the thing. They haven't said why they're doing it.
Yes, they have. It's just not as it's just not as detailed as we want it to be. It's the same answer that everybody else gives. It's to keep the game running.
Money.
They need right, money to deliver the updates that
these people who buy the game are not going to keep the game going. If they buy the game and are able to play it and they never spend the money on the premium service, then what good is that going to do them?
If they're not going to buy if they're going to wait till free to play and not going to buy the game and then not going to buy the expansions, then there's no revenue coming from them anyways.
I don't know. I'm saying the people who did buy the game or end up buying it when it is fully released. Say they buy it and don't spend a penny on the premium shop or getting the expansions. How is that supporting the game then and enabling them to make any more?
They still supported the game by buying the base game.
Right, but that well will dry up eventually.
Eventually, yes. And then
what?
And then when that well dries up, it'll like any other game. It dries up, the game is done. They're just trying. The way I'm seeing it is they're trying to make sure that well doesn't dry up faster than they expected.
Fair enough.
Because think of it, I'm gonna like me personally. Once the expansion comes out, I will be paying for the expansion because I'm willing to, and I want to play the story.
Mm-hmm.
If you're one of those players that say, "Hey, I'm not paying for the game," when it comes out and it's fully launched, fine, that's your stance. You don't play. But at the same time, I don't want to hear you bitch.
People are allowed to share their opinions, even if we don't agree with it.
They're sharing opinions, but I think I'm just getting more annoyed because I've seen posts as well where like people are harping on it, and it's It's along the same lines as like how nasty the community gets over certain things. That like, really, are you really getting that nasty over this?
Well, it's a lot of the climate these days. Everything's an extreme.
Yeah, basically. I'm like,
and some people just take it too far. But yeah, I get it.
It's fucking Mickey Mouse, man.
Hey, you know that there's a lot of Disney adults who take that shit seriously.
Yes, there's people that take it seriously, but kiss my ass.
I would die for that mouse.
Oh my god. I think I have a problem if somebody's willing to spend the money on a $30 to $50 set of Mickey Mouse ears, but aren't willing to pay for the game. Then you might want to.
I guess this goes back to our conversation earlier, is about where you find the value in things and what you place value in.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Well, on the happier part of it. They did say that the early access players will still won't have to buy into it because
I don't
they
give a shit. I'm kidding,
asshole. So basically, if you bought the Founders Pack, you will get access to the launch game and keep your saves and everything like that. And also as a thank you,
you're welcome.
They are because when the game goes live, it's gonna be called the Gold Edition. And the people who bought into early access are actually going to get the Gold Edition's perks, which is the cottage.
That's the right way to do that. That's cool.
Huh?
That's the right way to do something like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think we talked about that when they were talking about the cottage for the Switch version.
Yeah.
Like, because there was people upset about not getting that too, or not being able to buy it any other way.
Yeah, it's still in the premium shop. I see it pop up every so often, but I think it's two different style cottages though. The one on the Cozy Edition is the one that's been in the premium shop, but I think the one that we're getting from the Gold Edition isn't the same one as that one. But we're getting a cottage, we're getting an outfit, and we're getting the flowery capybara, along with 2,500 moonstones. It's basically a thank you to the players who bought into it early and was allowed
who supported the game.
Yeah, basically, that's cool. I like that. The purchasing moonstones is still going to be optional. So we could still earn the moonstones in-game and not have to actually pay for them if you don't want to. Which is cool.
But remind me, was earning the moonstones in-game, were you able to earn enough to buy into the Star Path?
Yes. I think if you do the math now, when it was 10, just not counting the Dream Snaps, when it was just 10 a day, it wasn't. I think you'd had to save up for like 3 months to buy into the Star Path or something like that.
Ugh.
But when they upped it to 50 a day, I think, what is that math? That comes out to what, like 1,500?
50 times 30?
Yeah, so about 1,500.
Yes,
so
1,500.
Should be enough. It should be enough to buy the Star Path, and then as long as you complete the Star Path, you get most of that back. So I think it's worth it. Not to mention, Dream Snaps give a fairly decent amount of moonstones, even if you are on the lower tier. I think like the lowest prize is maybe 400 moonstone if you participate.
I still haven't really gotten into Dream Snap, so I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, Callie just reminded me. You actually get 50 moonstones for voting in the Dream Snaps as well. So,
wow. Okay.
So on the high end, you can earn up to 4,000. On the low end, you earn up to 400 just for participating, and then another 50 on top of that for voting. So you make a pretty decent amount. So you can get the stuff in the premium shop because I think, like for example, the Haunted Mansion, you get both the Nightmare Before Christmas version and the regular version in the premium shop for 3,000 moonstones. So, I think it's a good. They give out a lot compared to a lot of free to play games, this is no longer free to play. Sorry, but yeah, a lot of games with that type of system coming up for like the premium currency and shit like that. They give a lot more than other places do. So I think that's pretty cool. They also announced that there's going to be a showcase on the 1st. So if you guys...
That's our wedding anniversary.
Ooh. Happy anniversary, you two.
Yay. Maybe we'll watch it.
It's at... You guys will be at work.
I work from home that day. She'll be home with me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, showcase is at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. They're going to be showing off the new expansion pass. It's going to be called A Rift in Time.
Rapunzel.
Yeah, puns. They show for the teaser photo. It shows Rapunzel, Gaston, and Eve on there. And the player's actually holding on to a staff, which is in the same style as the magical tools. I don't remember the exact name of what the hell they're called. So I'm thinking that's going to be the new key item. What they're going to do with that, I have no idea. But I also, looking at the pictures closer, I noticed a whole bunch of other stuff that were in there, and other people apparently saw the same thing. Like in the corner, you can see like a shipwreck on top
Typhoon
of
Lagoon.
Yeah. I thought that was cool. I'm wondering if that's just a nod of like how they did with the oh my god, the Disney rides, where one of the star paths was just like the Disney rides. Maybe another one's going to be the different water parks.
Mm-hmm.
What would be if they do that? I would be interested if they're going to include like Water Country in there.
I've never heard of that one, so I don't know.
You never heard of Water Country?
No.
That was their
I want to point out something that you just did that a lot of people do that you might not realize.
No, not Water Country. Oh my god. Is it River Country?
I don't know.
It was the water park that they had before Typhoon Lagoon.
Okay. So the thing that you just did, when I say this, you're going to think back and go, oh yeah, people do that. I mentioned I hadn't heard of something before, and your first instinct or reaction was to say, you haven't heard of this?
Yeah.
Think back to every conversation that you've had. That's always the response.
I do that with Callie all the time. I did that to her. It was either yesterday or the day before when Rush Hour came on, and she said she never watched it. I'm like, really? So yeah, it happens a lot. But I think that would be cool. And then the other things that I noticed in the pictures is there is other animals in there. Like
Okay.
I kind of figured like the capybara, because they had said that was going to be a pet in the cosmetics that we get. So I'm assuming that's going to be a new pet. But there's also monkeys and snakes in there. A monkey and a snake.
Give me a sloth. I'll be happy.
I wouldn't doubt if that happens at some point when they release like Zootopia or something.
Oh yeah.
But what's funny is when I was looking at afterwards, when I was seeing other people's posts when they mentioned the monkey, a lot of people are saying the monkey looks like the monkey from Tarzan. Like when I saw the monkey, I'm thinking, because Aladdin, you're gonna have Abu. But
that's what I thought you were gonna say at first too.
But the style of the monkey does look like the monkey, the little baby monkey that flipped shit when you tried to take when they tried to take the sketch from him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that monkey looks like. But yeah, I'm assuming the new pets are going to be monkeys, snakes, and capybaras for the new biomes. Yeah, which makes sense because each biome has its own pet. The image that we saw at the end of the game showed what could be 3 new biomes. So yeah, one for each one. That makes sense.
Time will tell.
Yeah, pretty much. What the hell was that? What else was noticed? Shit. I don't know. They just showed a lot, and they're giving a lot of goodies. Holy crap. Like, you showed the backpack. They were doing the
It's a big event.
Yeah?
That backpack code was part of their, I don't even know what you want to call it, just like their statistical post was like, so many people made friends, and this was the friendship path that people picked for their characters and shit like that. Like, mining was the most popular one. Was it like 8.6 million friends made and shit like that?
Yeah.
And it's like, how many of these gift bags have we passed out? You tell us. Here's the code.
That's cool. Like, on top of everything else that they're giving out with it and shit like that, I understand people are negative and shit like that and are upset. I feel for you, but at the same time, they're trying.
Yeah.
From what I can see, they're trying. They're giving a lot of stuff, and think about it. If you want to wait till it's discounted, go ahead. But yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. I want to watch it.
Are you going to be able to? Probably not, since you'll be at work.
Yeah, I'll be at work. I won't watch it live, but I can watch the rerun.
There you go. I don't know how we didn't bring this up at first, but I'm going to bring it up now, especially because I can link it to video games. Mm-hmm. Matthew Perry passed away. And I don't know if you knew, but he actually did a pretty big voice role in a video game.
I didn't know that till today.
Yeah. So everybody knows him from Friends, and he was a movie actor and stuff like that. But he was a big Fallout 3 fan. He talked a bit about it, like through his acting career, and was just talking about how much he played it and liked it. So when Obsidian was making Fallout New Vegas, they reached out to him to read for voice roles, and he got like the main antagonist role, Benny.
No shit, good for him.
Yeah,
I think like the couple of clips that I saw, you wouldn't tell.
Nope.
Like you had to try hard to listen to recognize the voice, but he did a good job.
He did well. Yeah.
Nah, that was horrible.
It's unfortunate though. Crazy news to find out.
Mm-hmm. Nah, cause last I knew, he wasn't doing so well as far as like his mentality and stuff like that. So
he was doing better. He was doing a lot better.
Oh, was he doing better recently? I know he was having his issues when his book came out, but
yeah, no, he was on the upswing. He was posting more on Instagram, talking about like Batman and stuff, and calling himself Matt Man, and like just enjoying things. Apparently, he played pickleball a lot and stuff like that. He was doing well.
No shit. Okay. Well, still a damn shame.
Yeah. Really unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of my news is like not good news for Xbox. Well, this big one is not. I had another. Did I lose it already? No. I'm thinking of something else. Xbox raised their prices in Brazil, and not a lot of people are happy about it, but I didn't read too much into it.
Yeah.
But they're also, some people are okay with this, and I get it because of certain devices, but for the video game community, I feel bad for them. Come November, Xbox is implementing a new policy where they are, they're disabling unauthorized third-party accessories. So if you plug in something like that, you'll get an error code that's like error 0x82D60002.
Okay.
And then it says, basically, if it's a third-party accessory, no matter what it is, whether it's like an adapter for a fight stick or like mouse and keyboard adapters or whatever that plugs into the Xbox, if it's not supported or authorized by Xbox themselves, it's disabled and you can't use it. And then they have a a page up that says all the authorized third-party things that they will allow. Their official statement for it was that Xbox and other licensed Xbox hardware partners' accessories are designed and manufactured with quality standards for performance, security, and safety. Totally get that. That makes sense. They don't want people plugging in shit that's going to ruin their system or add in a hack or something that's going to give you an unfair advantage or ruin their security on their consoles. Unauthorized accessories can compromise the gaming experience on Xbox consoles and players may receive a pop-up warning that their accessory is unauthorized. Eventually, the unauthorized accessory will be blocked from use to preserve the console gaming experience. I get their reasoning. However, the biggest problem with the fighting game community is that a lot of the fight sticks, Xbox doesn't make proprietary ones, so they have to use an adapter to be able to plug it into the console. If that goes through, then the biggest one is called Brooks Gaming, I think. They make adapters for all kinds of fight sticks to be able to plug into the console. Mm-hmm. If that's the case, these things might not work anymore. Then there's no way for the community to use Xboxes in like tournaments and shit like that.
Right. And that's the kind of shit I don't agree with. Because we even talked about it with Nintendo knuckling down on shit. I'm like, what the hell do you care? And I get what you're talking about as far as like stuff that could implement hacks and shit like that. I get that. But like, for example, I remember as a kid, if you broke your controller, you don't go and buy the regular game brand controller. You go in.
You don't buy first party. You buy third party.
Yeah.
And what was the go-to? What was the go-to company that we would always do?
Oh, mine was always Mad Catz.
There you go.
But like, that's your choice. You bought the system. Unless it's downloading something into the system, downloading a program into a cloud system that can
unless you're being malicious actively,
right? It shouldn't make a difference.
Yeah.
So,
like, you and I both, we understand their stance and their reasoning for it, but it also screws with a lot of things. Things that, like, there's a lot of fallout from it that are, encompassing things that don't need to be.
Right. Like, how far is... My thing is, how far is that going to go? The third party and stuff like that. Let's say, for example, you break your controller.
I didn't look at their list, by the way, so I'm not sure how extensive it is and what all they include, but clearly the adapters for the fight sticks and stuff are not included on that list currently.
Yeah. I'm thinking along the lines of, even if it's not that expansive yet, but I think it's a way to open the door. Let's say, for example, you like to work on your own machines and stuff like that. You break your controller. You want to repair it instead of replacing it. You don't want to pay top price for genuine parts. So you buy a third party part or chip or whatever. Does the same job. Mm-hmm. Replace it. The system recognizes, hey, this isn't genuine part. This is a third party part. Now we're shutting it down. At some point,
that's getting very granular. That's not what they're looking for, though. There's things that you plug directly into the console.
I get that, but at some point, where are they going to draw that line? Is what I'm saying. Eventually it's going to get to that point. Perfect example is HP with their
with the ink cartridges,
right?
Yeah.
Where the newer systems, if you put in a third-party cartridge, it recognizes it and it won't let you print.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before, it would say, "Oh, this is not genuine. You're voiding your warranty."
I just had a funny thought.
What?
You put in third-party ink cartridges in the printer, and it just prints out "fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you."
Oh my god. That would be insult to injury. I'm saying that.
That'd be funny.
And
just waste all the ink.
I think there's a lot of different situations that are similar that I don't like the way they're handling that.
Mm-hmm.
It goes along the same lines as what we were talking about, where things you used to be able to buy the program itself, and now you have to pay for a subscription, like Adobe, or the issue where Tesla was having an issue where people didn't want people working on their own cars.
Mm-hmm.
Which goes against the right to repair.
Right.
You paid for a product. You paid for that product. You are not paying for the right to use that product. You should be able to do what you please with it, so long as it's not malicious against other people.
Right. But this is just, Xbox trying to protect their ecosystem and stuff from, like, other things. Because you know that there had to have been something that happened for them needing to set a precedent. They don't just do this for the sake of it unless they thought ahead and was like, we need to protect ourselves from things.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's reactionary. So maybe something did happen where they're like, we got to do this.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think there would have been a better way to go about it, to be honest. Just to outright say...
They might work with these companies, too, and like make first-party adapters with them. Who knows?
Right.
Just because they close down the third party doesn't mean that they can't work with them in the future.
Right, but then at the same time, they're going to... I can see it turning out to be like, oh, hey, we'll let you use it, but you got to pay us a license fee to be able to... For your system to be on an ecosystem. That may be
the cost of doing business. But if they're working directly with Xbox, then so be it.
Yeah. I don't know.
One door closes, another door opens.
Yeah, but I think it's along the same lines of like where the people had the issues where, like if you wanted your games on Apple and they charge charge a percentage fee for having your game in the ecosystem and you have to use their Apple Pay or whatever system that they use. Or
yeah. That was like the whole Fortnite thing on mobile.
Yeah. So, yeah, no. That's the way I see it. But
I kind of want to save the Destiny stuff for last. Just because that happened today and it's a big old thing.
Well, fine. Then if we were speaking of Matman, guess who finally got another update?
Batman.
Yeah. Arkham Knight got another update 8 years later.
I was just about to ask, how old is that game now?
I didn't even realize how old it was until I read this article. But apparently,
and this wasn't supposed to happen. People were speculating. The Epic's Game Store version of Arkham Knight got an update where you can now dress as the Robert Pattinson's version of Batman. What the speculation was, that update, because there was no announcement or anything about it. It's just the timing of the update happened to release on the day that they were originally supposed to release the Switch version of it.
Mm-hmm.
And because that version got pushed back, apparently either Epic or somebody forgot to push that update back in the Epic Game Store. So now they have it available.
Yay!
So yeah, if you like that version of Batman, if you want to play
Happy accident.
Yeah, play it on Epic now or wait till December and you'll get it.
Mm-hmm.
But from what people are saying, it actually looks pretty damn cool. I didn't even know you can play as the other versions of Batman too. Like they had the Michael Keaton version.
Yeah, they got a bunch of suits.
Oh yeah. I think the only complaint people had about it was because of how beefy Batman is in the game. It's weird to see Robert Pattinson's version over that big over that hulking body. But other than that, a lot of the details are really spot on.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people are clamoring for any bit of GTA 6 news.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, they're always constantly like looking for stuff and like seeing when Rockstar puts up videos for whatever reason, or just like looking at every little bit of stuff that they do. In doing so, though, somebody actually found a patent that it looks like GTA 6 is going to be utilizing.
Okay.
Regarding like animation and locomotion in GTA 6.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty neat. The way that you can read through the patent yourself online too, but the way they described it is they're using like a library of small building blocks for character movement.
Okay.
Each of these blocks is going to have basically its own its own movement set or movement type. And the blocks can be combined in a bunch of different ways to create a wide range of animations, which in turn will lend itself to being more realistic and lifelike. And like have dynamic animations. Like things will be able to react appropriately to injury or weather or events that are happening or anything like that.
Okay, so like let's say for example, the player gets shot in the arm, their arm's gonna go limp or whatever. That could be a possibility.
Sort of. That's similar to similar to what they said. The example they used, this person put a video out of like the thing in motion. Let me see if I can find it word for word what he said. Clip of the person's character crouching with his gun covering his head. In the snippet, you can see that the building blocks used were combat, crouch, left_wide, long_gun, under fire, and move. This indicates how the character should move when under fire and crouching, holding an assault rifle, moving from the left part of his body, looking forward in a wide manner. So each of those blocks has a specific like animation thing that it does, and depending on what is going on in that game, the different animations for those blocks will change so that way it moves appropriately with what's going on.
Oh, okay.
So it's like it's building blocks basically. You just stick in Legos together and they react differently to different events and change out as needed.
But it's not something. It's more to do with how they program it, and not so much like a player can pick. Oh, I want to have a type of swagger to walk in and shit like that. That's not what you're talking about.
I mean that would be baked into the character more so than it just being a dynamic animation. This is supposed to make things more lifelike and make things feel more alive and real.
Right.
Like if somebody bumps into a wall, they might like hit their shoulder and stumble a little bit to the side and catch themselves and keep walking like they actually did that.
Right.
Or like one of the examples they gave too is like if it's raining, they'll cover their head with something and try to run and find shelter.
Right.
And like if the rain stops, they might shake it off or whatever and keep walking. It's supposed to be all dynamic. It's not supposed to be predetermined animations that happen or whatever. It just all happens on its own based on what these blocks are.
Okay.
And it just happens on its own.
Okay. No, the way I'm equating it to is like one step down to like AI type of situation.
Not quite.
They're not learning from it, but they're given the instructions. No, I think that's pretty cool. I would definitely like to see how that turns out.
It feels like one more advancement in what they had from Red Dead Redemption 2. Because that game had some pretty realistic animations and things, and everything felt real lifelike. The way they moved and things. Dude, that game, things could fall off a shelf. Like you could fall into like a table or a shelf or something, and something could fall off, and your character could catch it as it's falling. And that's not a pre-baked into animation. That's just something that happened in the world.
Right.
That kind of stuff is cool.
Oh, absolutely. Because it's not something that you're really going to be duplicating. It's not like, hey, you rerun that situation multiple times. No, it just happens to be a reactionary measure to that particular
it's never going to be the same twice.
Right.
Because it's all dynamic.
I like that.
It's cool stuff. Rockstar is like head and shoulders above the rest when it comes to stuff like this. Like innovation and creating things like they are. You really can't compete with them.
And
they're like one of the best companies when it comes to creation and generation and innovation. All the shuns.
And I wonder how much of that is just from them watching people modify their game for so many years, and how they play with that.
I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Because I want to say that they're probably the most modified. GTA 5 is probably one of the most modified games in existence at this point.
No, I would probably say Skyrim is.
Is it really?
I would probably say Skyrim, yeah.
I just happen to see more GTA 5 mods on YouTube than I do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably what I was thinking. That's probably one of the most modified.
I mean, I could be wrong too. I don't know for sure. Just the things that I've seen and read and know about, I'm like, oh, Skyrim's been modded all to hell and people love it.
And I think that's a good thing, because think about it.
It breeds innovation.
Yeah. Look at what happened with Legend of Zelda. The one prior to the most recent one. Wind Waker, right? Is the one that was just before this last one?
Mike, you make me sad.
I'm sorry. I love you.
Are you talking about the
Breath of the Wild, isn't it?
There you go.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Wind Waker was back on the GameCube, man.
I'm getting old, okay? Leave me alone.
That's okay. I'm right there with you.
But yeah, look at the people using the telekinetic ability to make vehicles. That wasn't part of the game. That was just people taking advantage of the game's mechanics.
Yeah.
And they liked it so much that
innovation at Nintendo that they put it in the game, yeah. Sorry, I took your thing.
No, that's okay. That's
finished your sentence.
No, that's the point. It's people. That type of stuff works. It's why fight the community.
Yeah.
As long as they're not being the community's not being malicious to your product, let them have fun.
Right.
Just because you don't, you might not have put something that they wanted, and the community comes up with it.
The only problem with that is Nintendo's big on their what's the word I'm trying to think of?
IP?
The way no, well yeah, but the way that they look. Their image. There we go. They have an image to uphold, and they will do anything they can to protect that. So of course, they're okay to a point with them using things, but like you step just a little bit over the line, they're like, nope, shut it down, we're done.
Which I get.
But then you have Bethesda and stuff who are like, you like to mod our games? We'll make mod tools for you. We'll make it easier for you to mod it. You want to mod things and put things in it? Go for it. Have fun.
Yeah, I think that's where the freedoms are good. I like that type of stuff. Because then we get cool ideas out of it.
Yeah.
Hell, I just started getting into I'm never gonna do it on my own and install it, but I just started getting into watching other people's mods with Kingdom Hearts 3. And people are finally being able to do mods with 1 and 2.
Didn't know that they were modding it.
Oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts, because it's on the Unreal Engine. People were modding Kingdom Hearts 3 left and right. That's the first time they've been able to do that. But just seeing what they've been able to do with that ability was pretty damn cool.
Since you mentioned Kingdom Hearts, did you see the new trailer for Missing Link?
I did not. I heard about it.
I haven't watched it. I saw it was a mobile game. I'm like, I ain't watching this shit.
I don't care. I'm going to watch it just because of the original trailers.
I know
awesome.
you would. But I was like, oh, a new Kingdom Hearts game is coming out. Let me check it out. And as soon as it said for mobiles, I'm like, I'm done. I'm out. Not checking it out.
You mobilist.
I just don't care. I mean, what, Resident Evil Village and 4 Remake or whatever came out for mobile phones, and people are like, yeah, it's fine. It's not the optimal way to play, but you can if you want to. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I expected.
I don't know.
I sound like an asshole.
A little bit. It's alright. It's your turn to be the asshole. I was the asshole during the Dreamlight Valley updates.
They hit the expectations that I was expecting, and I'm not surprised. Wow, it's an okay port of a game that would do much better on console. Good job.
Whereas I'm getting all ooh and ah over the Ever Crisis shit. I think it's cool.
Mobile gaming's not there yet. Using it for cloud gaming, sure, I'm all about that because I do that. But putting games on the phone specifically, nah.
I think it can be.
It can be, yeah, but I feel like it needs to be developed for it, not trying to port it to it.
Fair enough.
Because you do that, that's how we get the Mortal Kombat 1 on Switch.
Ooh, yeah.
I know, I keep going back to that, but that's like the best example.
I think once these game companies start putting more... I don't know.
Man, that reminds me. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm thinking, what happened to that push for like mobile gaming? You remember back in like 2008, 2009 when iPhones were just starting to hit big and like iPods were getting some of their refreshes and stuff, and there was just like this huge push from was it Steve Jobs for like mobile gaming and stuff like that, and was like iPod or Apple's going to lead the way for that, and there was just like so many games that came out, and then now there's like nothing. I mean, we're still getting games and stuff, but you don't hear about it like that now.
No more Steve Jobs.
Fair.
Don't get me wrong. I like Tim Cook's and all, but he's not Steve Jobs. Sorry.
Yeah. Fair.
For Christ's sakes, the guy paved the way for Pixar and Disney to meet. So.
Mm-hmm.
Like for the longest time, I had no idea that Steve Jobs started Pixar. I'm like, holy fuck.
I thought that was a pretty crazy story. I'm like, what? How? What? Why? It just, knowing him from being at Apple, I'm like, that just doesn't sound right.
It doesn't, but it also makes sense now that, like, how Apple products are designed, like the computers and stuff like that. That makes sense because they're designed for that type of stuff. They're...
Yeah. All right. I don't know how else to bring this up, just because it literally hit today as I was getting ready to leave work, and it's a pretty big deal because the whole community is just pissed off and upset, and Bungie's not doing anything to make it better, especially the CEO. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to say that apparently over the last couple weeks, and especially today was like a big number of them, there have been multiple layoffs at Bungie across a bunch of different departments, including like social, marketing, publishing, art, QA, support, legal, HR. No real statement from Bungie or anybody at the head of that happening. Some gaming outlets got news of, I think, an email from Pete Parsons letting employees know that there's going to be news coming out today, and that they would be discussing it later or something like that. And then you started seeing people post online about, hey, got laid off at Bungie today, and like just it started as like it came in waves, and people were letting everybody know like who got laid off and when and stuff like that.
Oh Jesus.
Some of the fallout from that. Well, before I get to some of that, I'm still waiting on confirmation to see if this person. There was a streamer who used to stream a lot of Destiny called T-Rex, Teawrex, which I thought was a funny name. He got hired by Bungie and was doing community stuff for them too. He didn't say. I haven't seen him say if he was laid off or not yet, but he did post something sad. So who knows? One of the community managers who did a lot of the TWABs, like this week at Bungie, she went by the moniker Hippie. She got laid off after she said 21 years in the gaming industry, but I don't know how much of that was at Bungie. But, she would write the community post for the week about the game and stuff most of the time. People knew her and people talked about her and stuff like that. She was well-liked in the community, but she got laid off as well. No confirmation on this, but people are mad about this one. The composer for a lot of the music that we like in Destiny and a lot of the good stuff that we got from it, Michael Salvatore, for all intents and purposes, has probably been let go as well.
Jesus.
That has really pissed off the community.
Now, why would they do that? I don't get that.
They haven't released a statement. No idea. But it hit today, and the news has just been steadily coming in over the last, 11:20 right now, and it started around maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the last 10 hours at least, and it's just been coming out. In some of this, though, apparently Jason Schreier found out that the Final Shape expansion that was set to come out in February is being pushed until June. Yeah, and then Marathon, I guess, was possibly set to come out next year. It is now being pushed to 2025.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened there?
Not sure. And like I was talking with Brian earlier, they have the season set up to where each story bleeds into the next season, leading up to the Final Shape. The whole point of this was to learn how to get into that portal, and then next season that's coming is supposed to be us working towards that to be able to get into the portal or whatever. Once we get the information, it's like building whatever we got to do to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be like what led directly into the Final Shape. If that's being pushed, what are they going to do on the interim? How are they going to bridge that gap?
Oh Jesus, yeah, because that's a 4-month gap.
Yeah, and usually they, unless they knew that this was coming down the line, and they already pre-planned for it, they might be floundering, because like the way that they have described their work pipeline before is that a lot of these decisions and things that they figure out and make and set up are figured out and done months in advance.
Mm.
So unless they knew that this was going to happen and already changed gears to extend things, what are they going to do?
Right.
And again, they haven't come out and said anything or confirmed anything or told us anything, so we don't know. And like I was telling you earlier, Sony bought them for like $3.6 billion. And when that happened, Bungie's leadership assured their employees that Sony's acquisition is not going to change or affect any of the layoffs or like any kind of restructuring for the company.
Mm.
Here we are a year later, and we're losing a shit ton of employees for who knows what reason. It makes you wonder.
A little bit.
Crazy enough, too. Besides last month starting the wave of employees being let go from Bungie, the Bungie Careers Twitter was actively promoting some new positions and opportunities at the company. On October 4th, also, they announced a recruitment event for the 27th through the 29th of this month, which is October.
Mm-hmm.
But on October 11th, it was canceled. They canceled their participation, citing scheduling conflicts. There were previously about like 75 open positions,
Mm-hmm.
Which apparently about 40 of them were deleted, leaving only around about 19.
So that sounds more like it was something that was dropped onto their lap very last second.
Maybe. It also sounds like downsizing.
Right.
I think some of the first things that were said about it was called a reduction of force. So it sounds like restructuring.
Yay.
Now, I'm afraid that you're going to get mad about this too, but I don't know.
Okay.
But apparently, again, community's pissed off. They smell blood and they're trying to figure out answers, so they're going after everybody. Like, not in a bad way. I shouldn't say that. They're not attacking people and stuff like that, but they're mad and they want answers as to why this is happening to a lot of well-known or not well-known people in the Destiny dev community, and are being pretty supportive about this, but they're mad at a company that they put so much faith in and has touted themselves as being community first and worrying about taking care of their people and stuff like that. Their CEO, they tweeted at 4:08 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
A couple hours after some of this news had broken stuff. And they said, and I quote, "This is Pete Parsons, CEO of Bungie. Says, today is a sad day at Bungie as we say goodbye to colleagues who have all made a significant impact on our studio. What these exceptional individuals have contributed to our games and Bungie culture has been enormous and will continue to be a part of Bungie long into the future." Now, nobody's happy with that. A lot of people are pointing out, you did this. You knew that this was coming. You are the one who is able to make these changes to keep these people on and stuff, and you did nothing to stop it. Why are you putting out a "oh, poor is me" tweet when you didn't do anything to stop this kind of shit from happening? That's all that the replies are basically saying to him.
Oh, Jesus.
So it's kind of being labeled as a tone-deaf response.
Yeah, he's not doing so well.
Yeah, probably not a good idea. If that's like, if the Bungie Twitter itself, like the quote-unquote Bungie Twitter is not making a statement, or you're not hearing from anybody else, and this is the response that we get first, it's not a good look.
Who knows if he hasn't tried anything? That's my thing.
He's the CEO of the company. He's the big man who makes the decisions.
Yes, he is the big man who makes the decisions, but what if these cuts are... I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. It's not going to look good anyways. It doesn't look good either way, but there's got to be a reason why they're doing it. And
yes, and you expect Bungie to come out and say why, or like give an idea and like try to help the community heal because everybody's mad and looking for blood. But instead, we get that. That does not help the situation for them at all. Also, I seen some replies saying, "God help the person who has to write the TWAB for this week." Can't imagine what it's going to say.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Not going to be good.
Nope.
And the longer this sits without an official response or anything like that, it's probably just going to get worse. There might be an exodus from the game because people's not going to want to play it out of like protest or something. I don't know.
This type of situation, I agree with it. The not participating and put your money where your mouth is type of situation. This makes sense. I'm all for it. Because that's what we deserve, anyways. Is you want us to buy into this,
especially when you say that your company is all for like inclusion and you support them and take care of your own and stuff like that, and then boom, we're laying off a bunch of people.
All just after saying, "Hey,
people have been there for a while too, like 10 years or more."
Pretty much. And the way I see it is, look at the timing, because they make this announcement after they've already said, "Hey, pay for your expansion early. Give us your money, because we clearly need it." Oh, Jesus.
The question is why? Who really knows? Because we're not there, we can't see anything behind doors, but still, it's just like, it just follows the wave of layoffs that we've seen from fucking Naughty Dog and Media Molecule, I think it was, and Mediatonic, I think was the other one, and then all the studios that had to shut their doors because of Embracer and stuff.
Right.
Let's just add this to the pile.
I'm wondering if these type of situations are what's... I'm just trying to make sense of why they would make...
Trying to rationalize it?
Yeah. Not so much the Bungie thing. They already pissed me off, and I'm gonna keep my cool on it as best I can. But like where we were talking about earlier with the Dreamlight and them switching from free-to-play to a paid service, I'm just wondering if that might be their way of trying to avoid something like that. I don't know.
Here's another thought. I hope that this isn't a Sony thing, because that would be even worse for Sony overall too. But under Jim Ryan, there was that big push for live service games, or games as a service.
Mm-hmm.
He had this big shift of focus in wanting that, and I think that's what the acquisition of Bungie was supposed to help with, because they've had Destiny running for a while. They have a good idea of how that stuff kind of works, and they were supposed to be helping companies build out their games as a service systems and stuff. Mm-hmm. But apparently a lot of studios were pushing back and didn't want to do games as a service games. Some higher ups in Sony were not wanting to do that, and they were trying to shift focus away from that. In doing so, I wonder if that shift of focus hurt Bungie as well.
Maybe.
But a lot of people think that after the final shape, if it comes out and when, that just might be the end of Destiny itself.
I hope not.
I mean, they have future plans to keep the game running and stuff, but like, you can only run on good faith for so long, and there's a lot of people who have been playing Destiny for a while who are starting to, I don't know if jaded's the right word, but just tired of it.
Mm-hmm. I get it. I think it's the same way people were feeling at the end of like the Adventures franchise, up until the
Burnout.
yeah, like after the Infinity Saga, everybody was just like they're tired.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I already tweeted out from my profile, or from the podcast profile, like saying our hearts go out to all the people that were laid off today, and hopefully they're able to land on their feet.
Agreed. That's a horrible thing. Anybody getting laid off it's horrible.
Yeah. Especially when it's from a company that you've been supporting for years, playing their games and enjoy their motto and stuff like that. It's just rough.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting to see the community also like feel betrayed by all this stuff.
What I would have been interested in finding out is, God forbid, had he not passed away, how Lance would have felt about all this.
Oof.
Because he's technically the face of Destiny, if you think about it, or one of the faces of Destiny.
One of, yeah. Man, now I'm wondering how Nathan Fillion feels if he knows about this stuff, if he's even fucking paying attention to it.
I have no idea.
Because I know that he loves Cade as a character, and he knows like the game community itself loves that character and enjoys him as the voice of it. So I guess not even just him, like Nolan North is the voice of our Ghost, who is a pretty prolific voice actor too. I wonder if he's aware of any of that.
I don't know. But I guarantee you they're not going to say anything at this point.
Probably not.
And I wouldn't recommend that, so that they don't rock that boat.
Yeah. Sucks though.
Mm-hmm. No, I didn't really like. Now that people have played it, this is a random thought. I didn't know Peter Dinklage was the original voice of the Ghost.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Oh, see, I just did it. I just did what I pointed out you did earlier. God damn it! I told you what happens.
Like, I'm sure I played D1 when he was the voice actor, but I never put two and two together.
That's because we've had Nolan North for so long.
Yeah.
It's hard to remember now.
Yeah, I'm glad they made the switch.
Yeah. He just sounded so bored and phoned it in.
Basically, well, he sounded robotic. I think that was the...
That might have been his direction that he went with, yeah.
Yeah. Well, apparently people like sarcastic and nutty.
It works.
Yeah.
Hopefully a lot of those people can land on their feet after all this. It sucks.
It does. And Bungie, if you're listening, please give an answer soon.
Save yourself. Put out some sort of statement to the community because people are mad.
Pretty much. There's no saving yourself at this point. Just we deserve answers. You want us to put money into this game still, then you kind of need to tell us. I think we deserve that much.
The community deserves something.
Right.
Because, yeah, a lot of people lost their livelihoods and stuff like that, but it feels different than other layoffs. Because, like, it's not directly affecting the community, but it also is.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people are sad and mad and just wanting to do something to help. It's very interesting to see the game community kind of, like, bind together and worry about those that are affected.
Yeah. For Christ's sakes, I remember when Destiny first came out. Bungie was being touted as the company that, hey, we're not gonna fit to the norm. That said basically fuck you to Microsoft and say we're not conforming to your shit and placate all this shit, and actually made a fun game.
Are you talking about Destiny? Because that's not what they did.
I could, yeah, I'm talking about D1 because when I first saw it,
Activision Blizzard. It wasn't Xbox.
Was it?
Yeah, they signed a contract with Activision to help develop the game and fund it.
I thought it was. I'm sorry, I'm shooting myself in the foot.
Like Activision was overstepping the stuff that Bungie didn't like and trying to push the game in directions they didn't want it to. So then they got out of their contract and everybody cheered and was happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they were like, we're independent again. And now Sony's like, here's some money. And they said, okay.
We thought you were the one, Bungie!
I guess, if nothing else tonight, I'm sure that we'll probably hear something tomorrow. We'll see.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Oh, if you guys are still playing, still working on the Star Path, finish it up. You got 36 hours.
Are you talking to yourself as a reminder?
Oh, right after this, I'm going right on.
It's 11:30.
I don't care. I got some tasks I need to finish.
All right, then why don't we hop off here so you can do that, and I'll start putting stuff together, and then I'll finish it tomorrow. Okay. You will do your Star Path.
Okay. In the meantime, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and all of the socials.
And your favorite YouTubes.
Yeah, YouTube. Bye.
I want to go play more Alan Wake, but I got to go to bed. That game has legitimately scared me a few times, which is a hard thing to do.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah. That's all. I'll tell you more about it later.
Bye.
Bye.